try to save. Now I'm stacking on my funds, saving for a rainy day.
Hey, what's up, Young Money Finances family? This is Dondre Brown, back with another video to talk about how we're not just going to plan, prioritize, pay, but some of the cool things that we have coming up in Young Money Finances. I've noticed that some of y'all are watching our videos and you're not subscribing. You want to subscribe because you want to stay tuned to all the things that we have coming up, because I guarantee you're going to come across a video where you were just a little too late on getting the information because you weren't subscribed. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. But I want to start out talking about something that has really changed my life and allowed me to launch into when I talk about money, launch into Young Money Finances, launch into my passion to teach other people, which is mentors. I always tell people, you don't know what you don't know, right? But as I've grown up, one of the biggest things that have been impactful throughout my life is not books, not classes, people, right? Specifically mentors. There have been some mentors in my life that have literally changed and challenged me to think differently, but also supported me through those challenges and helped me activate some of my missions and goals. So think about this. Who's your current mentor, right? You may have one, you may have a few, you may not have any, right? But for me in my story, it was very impactful for me to connect with my mentor who helped me learn about money management. I'll never forget it. Throughout my life, I've always had people that have tried to speak wisdom into me and I didn't listen, right? Try to support me. And even to this day, if they're watching this video, they're probably like, Dondre, I've told you this already, right? But it wasn't until my college, my junior year in college, where I really noticed the power of mentorship, right? Specifically around money. Right? A lot of us grow up, we don't have people in our families, in our households, in our neighborhoods, or even in our communities that help us learn more about money, right? And it's sometimes because they don't really know too much about money. But let me tell you the power of mentorship. So my junior year, I was sitting in a sociology class, and my mentor, his name is Dr. Richard Serpy, amazing professor. He was teaching a class that talked about generational poverty. And I never forget, he had wrote 1% on the board, and he asked this simple question. He said, if you want to learn more about money management, you should come talk to me. And for me personally, I was the kid that sat way in the back. I was extremely nervous, but I knew at that point that was my only opportunity to make a change in my life that many people around me were not willing to make. Right. I never forget the time where I was growing up and I wanted to do differently with my money, but I didn't know how. Right. I also noticed other people around me always talk about how they wish they would have known differently about money or did different with money. But it seemed like we were all in this same cycle of wanting to do better, but not knowing how to do better. So I told myself that I was going to take a risk that literally changed my life. So I walked down the steps nervous, a little, concerned about the reaction. But at the end of the day, I told Dr. Serpy that I wanted to learn about money management. And what he did was he sent me to his office hours. So a sigh of relief, but also a pause of, okay, what's next? And one of the things he had told me was he wrote 1% on the board for a reason. And this goes to many statistics about mentorship in general. He literally told me that he had offered that support to students year after year for up to 25 years. And only one student out of 100 students typically come and activate that type of mentorship or support. So that goes into thinking about the mentors that we have with youth today. How many youth are actively seeking you? Or you actively seeking around mentorship, right? So one of the things that Dr. Richard Serpy ended up challenging me with was doing better with my finances. But first, he did one thing that I rarely see mentors do, which is show me his finances. So being a junior in college, I had never really looked at credit reports, but at the same time, I knew the difference between green and red, right? So looking at his credit report, there was a lot of green, which we know green means what? Good, right? And then red means what? Not so good. So at that point, he showed me that he had had a credit card since he was 18 years old, and he had always paid on his credit card, never missed a payment. For me personally, not even thinking about credit cards, I've missed payments with friends. I've missed payments on cell phone bills. So for me, that was something that I wasn't used to, but something that I was motivated to adopt, right? So he was like, the first thing you should do, and started giving me tips, right? Helping me better understand ways that I can start to build a financial foundation. Now, of course, when people are giving you information, it sounds so simple, right? They're like, only thing you have to do is follow these steps. So for me, I was encouraged, I was empowered, and I was ready. But when it was time to actually activate what I had learned, I did a common step that people typically do. I ignored the plan. So my focus was to invest into an IRA. And what does an IRA stand for? Come on, look it up. An individual retirement account. So my mentor wanted me to start to create an retirement account while I was a junior in college. Now, if you are currently in college, how many friends, including yourself, have an IRA? Not many. Not many adults that you may know have a form of a retirement account. So for me, this was very foundational, and it sounds so simple, but it was hard to launch into. So I did what all students did. I said, I can't afford to get an IRA. And he had asked me about refund checks. And of course, I was in a position at the time where I was getting refund checks and I was just spending them like crazy. All right. And he was like, why don't you take, some of your refund check and start your IRA? Duh. Right. It made so much sense. So when I got my IRA, guess what I did? I meant my refund check. Guess what I did? I spent it. Right. I did not invest it. And I felt terrible. But like all mentors, and this is a key to finding a mentor is not only going to challenge you, right? They're going to cheer for you. They're going to encourage you. So I went back to his office and I was sad, right? I said, I didn't invest into my IRA. He told me something again that changed my life. He looked me in the face and said, that's why you'll be broke forever. And at that point, I think I was frustrated, but I was also frozen. Um, I was frozen because I had to sit in the reality of him being right and me not being able to respond, right? I couldn't respond with an excuse. I couldn't respond with anger, right? I just had to sit in that moment and understand that he was doing something that great mentors do. He was observing my behavior. So this is what he said to me. He said, so you didn't know how to start a financial foundation and start investing. And I, taught you that. Check mark. You said that you didn't have the resources or funds to start it. I helped you locate the funds to start it. Check mark. He said you didn't know how to access the tool or resource. I even coached you into accessing it. Check mark. He said you only had one check mark that you needed to complete, which was actually put your money where your priorities are. And I failed to do that. And he said, imagine if you continue to do that year after year, how much money will you have in your future? No brainer, right? I would be broke. Right? I wouldn't have the investments that I desire. So it was at that point where I had to start taking things seriously because I had someone that wasn't only just telling me what to do, but he was walking with me. Dr. Serpy was able to tell me about an IRA because he had an IRA and his mentor helped him start an IRA when he was in college his freshman year. So that goes to show that sometimes great mentors pass down blueprints because they received great mentors. And that goes into one of the programs that we have through Young Money Finances, which is our Young Money Mentors program. I tell kids all the time, when you go through our camps, we understand that you're like, what's next, right? What now? What next? But we've created something that will help students walk through financial goal setting, right? Helping them build confidence in making better financial decisions, right? And then finally ensuring that they spread it to families and peers so that they can all be the last generation that starts from scratch. And we call that our Young Money Mentors program because it's not enough to teach you about money, right? It's to help you walk along the journey so that you can learn the process and the blueprint to accomplishing your financial goals. Because in Young Money Finances, we always talk about PPP and one of the first P's being plan and creating a financial goal. But in order to create that financial goal, right, and achieve it, you have to also understand that that's a journey. It's very rare that someone creates a financial goal on day one and they accomplish it on day one. So our mentor program is created so that you'll be paired with a financial facilitator that can help you accomplish your goal. The cool thing about the program, even if you're online or you're not even in Grand Rapids, soon or maybe in the future, we'll be able to expand to you even virtually. But for our individuals in Grand Rapids, this program is starting soon, right? Around April 30th is when we're going to launch the program so that you can become a part of it, and it will last for 8 weeks. I always tell people this: the coolest thing about financial goal setting is you don't have to start really large and really grand. If you remember my story and how Young Money Finances was created, it started with my daughter having a goal to purchase a gymnastics bar, right? Gymnastics bar was around $100. So your goal doesn't have to be $10,000, right? You can start small. You can still dream big and start small. But one of the keys in accomplishing your goals is ensuring that you have people in place that can hold you accountable. So again, you definitely want to launch into the mentor program. Now, let's say you're either a youth that can't, attend our program, or you're an adult that would love to be a part, right? No matter where you are, you still have to ask yourself, how can I access a mentor, right? Someone that can motivate me and someone that can support me. Now, do I talk to Dr. Richard Serpy about money nowadays? Nope. What I've been able to do is find other mentors that can help me reach additional goals, because that's the process of having mentors and goal setting. So again, I encourage you to consider our Young Money Mentors program. Again, if you're not able to be a part of it, that is perfectly fine, but you should still seek out mentors. Build relationships with individuals. Ask them about their finances. Ask them about their financial journey, and don't be afraid to share yours. I think nowadays they say collaboration is the new currency. I'll also say that community is the new currency. So we want you to build community around financial priorities and financial goal setting. So again, hopefully you got some good information from my story about mentoring. I firmly believe that mentors help you get to the places that you truly need to go, and they only exist to challenge and support you. Okay? So again, this is Dondre Brown, Young Money Finances. I truly appreciate y'all coming on today. And as we walk into spring, make sure that you are launching into some of these things in some of our past videos. If this is your first time tuning in, go back and watch some of our videos. We've already talked about tax refunds. We talked about our fundraiser coming up. We are building a movement and we're building momentum. So our goal is to make sure that you're a part of it, so that you don't just witness our journey, our financial journey, you're a part of it. All right, so again, make sure you subscribe to us. You can follow us on social media. And if you have additional questions, make sure you follow and click on the links below. Thank you.
Check, so we get it in. Dondre coming real clutch, he gon' teach you to win. We got the tools, just listen, man, follow these rules. Don't be no fool, cut the spend and stay up in school. Get you a pen and a paper, cause we dropping these jewels. Now I've been grinding every day, trying to build up my network. With Jamila, Dondre, building my network. And it ain't even nothing to it, it's something like light work. You can't knock it till you try it, it's something that might